Alright, this is Dead Space Paintball, and it's been a while since I made a video, but I want to talk to you guys about air tanks, the difference between CO2 and air tanks. Alright, I mean, if you have CO2, definitely switch to an air tank. I'm going to show you the stuff I have here. I play pump. This is a huge 72 CI pure energy tank. Huge. Why would I get it? Well, my friend gave this to me with the cover for 30 bucks. It was in good shape, so I was like, yeah, 30 bucks. Yeah. Do I recommend getting this? No. If you have the money, you can get the same size tank. You can get by same company, same company, different size, smaller size. Get the smaller size. Never choose freaking 72 CI. You're not going to need that much. If you're a scenario player, yeah, if you're playing long scenario games, you got this thing on your back or whatever, you got your remote line hooked up to here, hell yeah, get a 72 because you might need it. You might need it. You never know. But for playing pump, for playing speedball, you're not going to need that much air. Alright? I mean, what I have here, just talk to you about this. This big 72 CI 3K tank from Pure Energy. It's got the it's got this big old reg on there, you know, the big regulator. It's about 2 inches long. You know, is it a good tank? Yeah, it's a good tank. I mean, not a lot of air tanks are bad. I mean, just compared to CO2, they're way better. This is great. I got this about a month ago, a little more than that. This, my brother got this. It's my brother's tank. It is a Gorilla tank. Gorilla makes the Myth Reg. The Myth Reg is the smallest reg on the market right now. This is a great small tank. And hey, what do you know? Myth Reg's on there. Right there, Myth Reg. Look at this thing. This thing is nothing. This thing is like an inch long. Like an inch and a half long. This thing is so small, it feels so nice. The only thing is, though, some drop forwards, you cannot put this on drop forward because the thing is so small. The fill nipple will actually hit like your grip frame, or where your drop forward attached to your grip frame. Some drop forward. So what I have on there, on my gun, it works fine. But some drop forwards, the guy at Dark Star Paintball warned me that some drop forwards this thing will not fit because before you screw it in all the way, the fill nipple just hits it and it won't screw in anymore. Now the difference between CO2 and high pressure air, HPA air tanks. Well, one, some of you CO2 players don't know what I mean. I mean, you get your thing filled, it's freezing cold, right? And you're shooting really inconsistent in the beginning. You know, it's terrible. I mean, you're shooting terrible. I mean, first I've had it where I would jump between 280 and 350. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is a freaking 70 FPS difference. I mean, that's the worst it's been. But other than that, it was still bad, but not as bad as that. Now, CO2 is dangerous. I mean, if it's cold, you get it cold, right? I've had this happen. Here's a good story. While playing a paintball, I was there. Great place. If you're in Arizona, great place to go. It's in Casa Grande. This place just it was cold. It was cold in the morning, right? The CO2 tank's nice and cold. No problems or anything. We're about to start the day. It was Jim's working there, and Jim was going through all the stuff, you know, all the rules of the place, you know, all the rules. And my friend has a CO2 tank out there, and he's giving this speech right as the sun's coming up, so that it just heats up, and just something inside just shooting out from just right past the push valve. It was shooting right out the push valve. It's just, what's going on? That was one of my 3 CO2 tanks I have. I have 3 CO2 tanks plus the 2 air tanks. 20 ounce, I have 12 ounce, and the 9 ounce. The 9 ounce busted now. Can't even use it. So A, you're going to break it, or B, your O-rings. Your O-rings. I swear to God, every time I don't know if it's just my tank, but every time I unscrew this thing, after a couple of games, I'll unscrew this thing, and the O-ring is shredded just from the CO2. It just shreds it. I don't know how. It's cold and it's swollen. The O-rings get swollen, and they just shred, and it's terrible. You're going to go through like tons of money in O-rings. Yeah, some fields they give you O-rings for free, but a lot of people, they buy their own O-rings, you know, because of this stuff. And I have a bunch of O-rings like upstairs and stuff, but you're gonna go through so much. I mean, yes, like little bit amount of money just to buy an O-ring, but it adds up. Get an air tank, way more consistent. These things are just great, and you don't have to like, you know, wait in line, wait for this guy to fill up your tank, because you know, you go to places like Dick's Sporting. I don't know if Dick's does it, but I know like a lot of places, like a lot of sporting goods stores, try and fill these things up. They blow them up, they detonate them. Then you got to buy a new one. You know, sometimes they'll replace one for you. Sometimes they don't. I've had times where like I've heard people they blow up their tank. They don't even replace it. I don't know how that happened, but my friend, you know, he had some extra money, you know, so he didn't really care. It was just like, you know, this in the long run, this is actually going to be less expensive, believe it or not. You know, this thing would be $60 plus a $16 tank. If you have a friend that's selling you one, great, because this would be like $80, and I got this for like 30, maybe even $90. I don't know. I can't exactly remember what the price is on this tank. But if you have the extra money, get a Gorilla tank. They're great. Gorilla makes great tanks. I mean, they're great tanks. The Mithreg, tiny. Get it with the Mithreg. I mean, usually they come with the Mithreg because the Gorilla makes the Mithreg. And they're just tiny, tiny little things, and they're just amazing. Get the 45 3K, just, oh my god, they were so great, and they're just amazing. They fit great. With the Reds tank cover, Reds makes great tank covers, you know, with all the extra padding here where it wears the most, and it's good. You do want to get this though, the cover, because I mean, you know, some people don't really worry because some people don't play like snake players. Snake players, if you're diving into the snake, you hit a rock with this tank without a coverage. You're screwed. Either screws it up there, but if it doesn't do anything then, if you see a chip, you're too worried to use it any other time. It would be dangerous. It would be a suicide, just freaking suicide, just to use it again if there's a chip in there. I mean, you'd have to just get rid of it, send it off, get it, you know, punctured, whatever, you know, done. It's just, it wouldn't be safe. Get this. They feel a lot better, you know. Some tanks you don't want to put, like, you should, but you don't want to because they're great. Like the invert tank makes a beautiful tank. Have you seen it? It's this white, beautiful tank. It's just, oh, I know a friend at a field I go to has this tank, and it's just amazing. It's so super light. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's carbon fiber, but it's something super light. I don't know. I can't remember what he said it was. Something weird. I think it was carbon fiber. It was super, super light. But it was beautiful. He's like, I'm like, why don't you put a cover on that? It's like, I don't know, it just looks too great. But you know, if you're not a snake player, you don't need to buy a tank. If you're not going to do a lot of diving or anything, you know, if you're not going to be like jumping around and like risking your tank hitting a rock or something, you don't need to worry about it. Because I mean, if you bump your tank into like the bunker or something, like if you play woods ball, you bump it into a tree or into like a plywood board. Oh no, it's not going to break, right? It's not going to break from just bumping against a tree a little bit, or if you kind of hit it against a tree. Tree's soft enough where it won't break it. A rock though, I'd be worried. If you hit a rock and there's nothing there, you just do a quick look over it. There's no chip at all. Don't worry about it. But I mean, when you hit a rock hard, it chips and just screws up your tank. But definitely get these. It's way more consistent. They will save you money in the long run. You don't have to wait for those guys to fill up your tanks, you know, because they always blow up your tanks. So, like sporting goods stores. So get this, you know. Actually, get this. I don't want to tell you to get a big old 72. Screw that. Get this. Gorilla tank, great. Mithreg, great. Small, affordable. You know, this costs maybe like $90 to $100. A little bit expensive for a starting tank. Not too bad though. I mean, if you're gonna spend the money, it's gonna save you money in the long run. You fill up your own tank. You don't gotta worry about someone screwing up your own tank. If your tank blows up, that's your fault. Then you don't have to be yelling at someone because they blow up your tank. You know, you got your fill stations or whatever. You know, they have at your field you go to. Maybe they don't. You know, some fields don't have the fill stations. But get HPA. Get high pressure air. They're great. You don't have to go get a Crossfire tank or invert or CP. You don't have to get all that stuff. That stuff's expensive. Just get a Steely tank. Yeah, they're a little heavier, but who cares? You know, in the long run, who really cares? You know, if it's your first air tank, yeah. second or third air tank, yeah, get a Crossfire. Get Crossfire. Crossfire is great tanks. Not too expensive, and they work great. CP tank's a little more expensive, but extremely long regulator. The regulator's like this. It's huge. I don't like it at all. But definitely switch to high pressure air. That's all I gotta say. Bye.